Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Gonna be giving you my starting 11 prediction for our game against Istanbul Başakşehir this evening in the Champions League group stage. So like I mentioned, Solskjaer will be making changes from our 1-0 defeat to Arsenal recently. Now I think this evening he's going to go with the 4-3-3 formation. So I think he's going to go with Dean Henderson in goal. Dean Henderson, if he starts this evening, will be making his Champions League debut for the club. Now I think at some point Dean Henderson will become our number one goalkeeper. Was it at the start of the season? Dean Henderson committed his long-term future with Man United because he signed a 6-year contract with the club worth around 120 grand a week. And in Dean Henderson's last 2 games, he has kept clean sheets. But Dean Henderson has got experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and Dean Henderson has been part of the club for several years. He's been at Manchester United since like the age of 14. So yeah, I think this evening he'll come in for De Gea, David De Gea who'll be rested. Got to credit David De Gea though, because I think recently he has rejuvenated himself. You know, David De Gea's been long serving at the football club. You know, this is now his 10th season at Manchester United. Now, right back, Wan-Bissaka, he'll keep his place in the team. Wan-Bissaka has impressed me recently. He weren't too good against Arsenal, but I think in his 4 previous games prior to the Arsenal one, he did very, very well. You know, he was showing good attacking intent, defensively very, very good. Don't forget how Wan-Bissaka scored in our game against Newcastle. That was his first goal for Manchester United, and that game against Newcastle was his 50th appearance for the club. This season is Wan-Bissaka's second season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. Now, the 2 centre-halves, I think we're going to go with Axel Tuanzebe and Harry Maguire. Now, Axel Tuanzebe, I said, didn't I, on the preview, deserves a chance. Because Axel Tuanzebe was very, very impressive against PSG. That was his first start for Man United in 10 months against PSG. Now, Solskjaer was talking about Axel Tuanzebe prior to the Chelsea game, and he's challenged Axel Tuanzebe to add consistency to ensure that he has a long career with Man United. Ole is just hopeful that he can remain injury-free because he has sustained quite a few injuries. Now, Harry Maguire, should he be given a rest? I think he'll start though, like I said, this evening. Got to credit Harry Maguire. He has rejuvenated himself recently because Harry Maguire did have early season troubles. Obviously, he had that incident in Greece the other month. He obviously had a few knocks. He got sent off in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark. As it stands at the moment, Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world because we got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester, and he is the second most expensive signing at the club, behind Paul Pogba. Now, as you all know, Harry Maguire was alongside Ole in the press conference, and Harry was asked in the press conference about his form, his leadership, and the impact of the summer. And he says the incident in Greece has not affected him. You know, he's just focusing on his football. Harry Maguire is our current captain. So yeah, I think Victor Lindelof will be dropped this evening. I do think that. At left back, we are going to go with Luke Shaw, I think. Luke Shaw, I think, has improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he is injury prone, because don't forget he sustained an ankle injury towards the end of last season. He was injured at the first part of last season as well, and he sustained a few other injuries. Luke Shaw's endured a good 6 years or so now at Manchester United. We paid around 30 million for him from Southampton back in 2014. Obviously, Telles is not available for this evening's game, because I think Telles is going to be having another COVID-19 test, and obviously it has to be negative. Not so long ago, he got tested positive for coronavirus. So Telles didn't play any part against Arsenal. Obviously, he was absent from the squad against RB Leipzig. Obviously didn't play any part against Chelsea, but he did play against PSG, and that was his debut for the club, and I thought he did very, very well. But I think Telles is going to be a very, very good signing for Man United. We got him for around 15 million euros, with add-ons included, and he signed a 4-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. Now, in the midfield, I think we're going to go with Matic, Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba. Solskjaer's got a decision to make on who he's going to go with in midfield. Now, Matic, he has lost his place in the team, hasn't he? But I think he'll start this evening's game. He'll come in for McTominay and Fred. I think McTominay and Fred could be given a rest this evening, because they've played a lot recently with McTominay and Fred together in our midfield. Was it at the start of the season, by the way, Matic had signed a 3-year deal with the football club. Matic did have some good games towards the end of last season. We paid quite a bit of money for Matic. We paid £40 million for him from Chelsea, and Matic has been at the football club now for over 3 years. Donny van de Beek, I want him to start this evening, like I've said, and I think he will. Donny van de Beek didn't start in the Arsenal game, but I said he should have started in the Arsenal game. You know, Donny van de Beek has not yet made his full Premier League debut for the football club, and a lot of Manchester United fans have become infuriated with this. Now, Ollie, don't forget, was talking about Donny van de Beek prior to the RB Leipzig game, saying that, you know, Van de Beek's going to play a big part this year and he's going to be an important player. And Solskjaer did explain why he hasn't been playing him much, because obviously Solskjaer's trying to figure out his best position, because Donny van de Beek can play in like 3 different roles. But he did start against RB Leipzig in our last Champions League game, and obviously he was playing in that number 10 role. We paid £40 million for Donny van de Beek from Ajax. And, you know, Donny van de Beek signed a 5-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. And Donny van de Beek currently wears that number 34 shirt. So, yeah, I think he'll start ahead of Bruno Fernandes. I don't think Bruno Fernandes will start this game against Istanbul Başakşehir. Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you, though, wasn't that good against Arsenal. I thought he was very, very quiet. There's only been a couple of games where he's looked a bit off the pace, but I think the vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' games, he's been very, very consistent. You know, Bruno Fernandes has endured around 9 months at the football club. And the vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' goals have come from the penalty spot. Last season, I think he won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, reflecting on his good performances. Won some Matt Busby Player of the Year award as well. When we signed Bruno Fernandes, he obviously signed a 5-year contract at the club with an option of a further year. Like I updated you recently, Bruno Fernandes was talking about Paul Pogba. This was prior to the Arsenal game. And he insists that he can form an effective partnership with Paul Pogba. And he said he's got a good relationship with Paul Pogba on and off the pitch. And he said that most of the time they speak to each other, you know, they speak Italian. That's what he said. But yeah, I don't think Bruno Fernandes will start this evening. He could do, but I don't think he will. Paul Pogba, he shouldn't be starting this evening's game. But I think he's going to start this evening's game, Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has received a lot of criticism recently. Obviously, Paul Pogba was the one that cost us the game against Arsenal because Paul Pogba obviously brought Hector Bellerin down. And he had no need to do that, really. But Paul Pogba, did apologise. Now, there is a lot of uncertainty regarding Pogba's future at the club. And I think Paul Pogba will be leaving the football club next year. And to be honest with you, I think he'll end up going to Real Madrid because don't forget, quite a few weeks ago, Paul Pogba made an admission saying that one day his dream is to join Real Madrid. And last year he was talking a lot about Real Madrid and Zinedine Zidane, and he said he wanted to leave Man United because he was seeking for a new challenge. There's obviously been a lot of rumours of Paul Pogba going back to Juventus. Paul Pogba, did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus. There's obviously been rumours of him going to Barcelona before, and PSG have been interested in him. Analysing the vast majority of Pogba's career since he rejoined, he has been inconsistent. This is his 5th season at Man United since he rejoined from Juventus. He has made over 100 appearances for the club in all competitions as Paul Pogba. And he sustained quite a few injuries. Don't forget, for the vast majority of last season, he was out with that ankle injury. Now, as it stands at the moment, he is our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. And he's one of the highest paid players at the club because he's on 290 grand a week. And there has been no talks whatsoever over getting him a new long-term contract at the club. But during the summer, Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, said that Pogba wants to stay and he will hold talks over a new long-term contract. And I think on the left-hand side, we will start Anthony Martial. Like I said, he's available. Martial didn't play any part in the Arsenal game because obviously he was serving his 3-match suspension, because don't forget, Martial got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. But Martial has now served his suspension, which is very, very good. I thought Martial was very, very good last season under Ole. He was also very good in his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. Martial has enjoyed a good 5 years or so now at the football club. Don't forget, we did give him that number 9 shirt. I think on the right, we will start Mason Greenwood. There again, maybe Juan Mata could even start the game this evening, but I think Mason Greenwood will start. But Juan Mata could be involved, yeah. Mason Greenwood, obviously he played against Arsenal. He obviously had that great chance, produced a fantastic save from Leno. I think that was the best chance we had in the game, to be honest with you. Greenwood obviously started the game against RB Leipzig. Obviously, he scored the first goal, and that was his first Champions League goal for Manchester United, Mason Greenwood, and that was his 59th appearance. We had a few issues with Mason Greenwood, didn't we, early on the season, because he was getting withdrawn from the England squad quite a few times. Don't forget, at the beginning of this season, we give Mason Greenwood that number 11 shirt. He's the 4th Manchester United player to wear the number 11. And Greenwood has got a contract with the football club until 2023. Now, I think up top we will go with Edinson Cavani. So far, Edinson Cavani has made 3 substitute appearances for the club. And Solskjaer recently said that Mason Greenwood will make an impact sooner rather than later. Roy Keane criticised Edinson Cavani's warm-up building up to the Arsenal game. You know, he mentioned his lack of effort and that. We got Edinson Cavani on a free transfer on deadline day, didn't we? And he signed a 2-year contract with the football club worth around 220 grand a week. And he is our new number 7. And I said Edinson Cavani will be the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So that's how I think Man United could line up this evening. Marcus Rashford, I think he'll be rested. I don't think he'll start. There's a lot of people that have been saying recently Rashford should be starting on the bench because he makes more of an impact from the bench. Paul Merson was saying this prior to the Arsenal game. Marcus Rashford, though, has really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, hasn't he? You know, Rashford scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig. He became the second Manchester United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. And he also scored late on against Paris, and that was the second time he'd done that. Rashford recently turned 23 years of age. You know, Rashford's been at the club now for over 15 years in total because he's been at United since the age of 7 and he has been in our senior squad since 2016 as Marcus Rashford. Dan James, now maybe rumours he could be involved in the game this evening. Like I said, I don't think he'll start, but he could be involved, yeah, Dan James. Odin Igalo, you know, do you think he could be involved? He's yet to play in the Champions League for Manchester United. And don't forget, you are allowed to make 5 substitutions in the Champions League, but you can only make 3 subs in the Premier League. And Solskjaer did say, this was before the Arsenal game, that I can't believe the 5 subs rule in the Premier League was scrapped. He can't believe that, you know. Like I said, we've got Eric Bailly unavailable. He's out for a few weeks with a muscle injury, and that's my element of concern about Eric Bailly. Too injury prone. Phil Jones, he's out injured, and he recently had an operation like Ollie confirmed, but Ollie said that Phil Jones could play a part at some point in this season, probably after Christmas now maybe, or around Christmas time. Jesse Lingard, he was in training on Monday, but he won't be available because I don't think he's travelled with the rest of the Manchester United squad. So, there you go. But we'll win this game this evening against Istanbul Başakşehir. That will be 3 wins in a row for Man United in the Champions League group stage. We've enjoyed a fantastic start to our Champions League campaign, because we've had back-to-back wins against PSG and RB Leipzig. And I'm very convinced that we'll get into the knockout stages of the Champions League. Now, like I said, Istanbul Başakşehir, they've lost both of their games so far in the group stage. They lost to PSG 2-0 and they also lost to RB Leipzig 2-0. I think this is Istanbul Başakşehir's first ever time in the Champions League. Their current manager is Okan Buruk. He won the league in his debut campaign, like I said on the preview. Like I said, Istanbul Başakşehir have got quite a few former Premier League players in their team. They've obviously got Rafael da Silva. He's a former Man United player. I think he'll be playing this evening, so he'll be reuniting with Man United. They've also got Demba Ba, former Premier League player. They've also got Martin Skrtel, former Premier League player. They've got Chadli, former Premier League player, but I think he's out with injury, so he won't be playing this evening for Başakşehir. I think Başakşehir got Chadli during the summer transfer window. Like I said to you, one of their key players is Edin Visca, because Edin Visca has endured over 9 years now with Istanbul Başakşehir, and he has made over 300 appearances for them in all competitions, I think. And this will be our 9th time in our history we would have played in Turkey. Now, after Istanbul Başakşehir, we have got Everton. That's our next league game. It is 12:30 kickoff on Saturday at Goodison Park. And it's going to be really, really tough because Everton have got a very good manager in Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has won around 15 major honours in his managerial career, so he has got a good pedigree behind him. Carlo Ancelotti has been Everton manager now for almost a year. And I think when Everton appointed him in, he signed, was it a 4 or a 4.5 year deal? Everton made some good signings in the summer transfer window. They obviously brought Decore in, they brought James Rodriguez in, they brought Allen in, they also brought Ben Godfrey in, and I think they also brought Nkudu in as well. You know, got other good players in their team, Everton. You know, they've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, they've got Richie Arlington. By the way, Richie Arlington's suspended, I think, for the game on Saturday. Or is his suspension up? They've obviously got Bernard. They've got Alex Iwobi, you know, they've got Sigurdsson. They've got Andrea Gomez. They've got a very good fullback in Lucas Digne. One of their centre-halves is Michael Keane, who's a former Manchester United player. Seamus Coleman's still there. I think he's out with injury at the moment for Everton. So yeah, Theo Walcott, they did have him, but now he's out on loan with Southampton. Everton, though, did recently lose to Newcastle, didn't they, by 2-1. I think they have lost 2 games so far this season, Everton. But yeah, we've been beat at Goodison Park a few times over the years. You know, we lost 4-0 there under Ollie back in April 2019, which was last year. We lost under Louis van Gaal era by 3-0. And we also lost there under David Moyes era by 2-0. The game at Goodison last season was 1-1. Before Everton had Ancelotti, they had Duncan Ferguson on a temporary basis. Before they had him, they had Marco Silva. There was Paul under him. They've had Roberto Martinez before, and there was quite good under him. And don't forget they had David Moyes, and he enjoyed around 11 years with Everton, didn't he? After Everton, you know, it is the international break, isn't it? But yeah, we've enjoyed a very, very poor start to the Premier League season. We have lost 3 of our opening 6 league games, and all the defeats have come at Old Trafford. It's our worst start at Old Trafford in around 50 years. We have not yet won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We are sitting 15th in the Premier League, so we are near the relegation zone. So our league form is a worry. Away from home, though, we've been very, very good because we haven't lost any away game in any competition since January, have we? But like I've said to you, I think Solskjaer will get sacked as Manchester United manager. Could be sacked this week, to be honest with you. Now, obviously, Mauricio Pochettino is the favourite to be Manchester United's next manager. Obviously, it says we've been looking at Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to him. If we do sack Ole, he will be the 4th permanent manager to be sacked by Manchester United since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. It'll cost the club around £4 million to sack Ole, won't it? Ole's obviously under contract with the football club until 2022. Obviously, this is his 2nd full season at Manchester United, and Ole has managed 100 games for the football club in all competitions. Obviously lost his 100th game against Arsenal. You know, that was Arsenal's first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006. So that's around 14 years ago now. But Ollie has won 56 games as Manchester United manager in all competitions since he got appointed in. And I said to you, didn't I? This season, Ollie has got to exceed his expectations. And I said he's got to guide us to a top 4 finish. And he's also got to win a trophy. And obviously, that's not going to happen the way things are at the moment. We haven't won a trophy yet under Ollie. And we haven't won out in terms of silverware for over 3 years. Now, not all of the blame stems from Ollie reflecting on our inconsistency, does it? You know, obviously there's certain players that have got to take responsibility. There's a lot of problems at the club. You know, a lot of United fans have been demanding the board out for several years. Obviously, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, and we've also made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. But during the summer transfer window, Ollie wasn't backed enough because we missed out on all of his priority targets and we missed out on a lot of targets in general. I don't think any of the managers that we've had since Ferguson left have been backed enough, have they? You know what I mean? But Ollie's team selections are poor in a lot of his games, aren't they? You know what I mean? And like I've said to you before, I want his managerial tenure to work out because I love him a lot, but he's just not good enough to succeed as a manager because he hasn't got that proven pedigree. Now, I thought he was a great player for the football club for 11 years, Ollie, but just not good enough as a manager, like I say. And in a way, I feel sorry for him because I think he's in a position that he shouldn't be in. I think we made a bad mistake by giving Ollie the job permanently, but we're giving the job permanently reflects on what he did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Now, obviously, last season was Ollie's first full season at the club. And to be fair, he did well because obviously he guided us to 3 semi-finals. He got us qualification for the Champions League and he also got us 3rd. And at the first part of last season, don't forget, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And Ollie's enjoyed around 4 transfer windows at the football club and he spent over £200 million. You know what I mean? And I like the way that he has promoted the youth. And Solskjaer showed tactical flexibility, you know, in a lot of the big games since he got appointed in as Man United. So that's also a positive you can take. We've had some good periods under him. We've also seen a lot of players leave the football club since he got recommended in, you know. So they are the positives you can take from his tenure, you know. There's not all negativity regarding Ollie. But we are making plans for next year on obviously who we're going to get rid of, you know, because he's still deadwood in his squad, isn't there? We're looking at making a couple of more signings as well next year because I still think Man United need a centre half and we also need a right winger, don't we? You know what I mean? So, yeah. But the question is, if we do appoint Pochettino in, is he going to be backed enough by the board? That's the question. You know, maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I'm sure, you know, if Man United appoint Pochettino in, Pochettino will demand a few things. Pochettino will obviously tell the board what signings he wants to make. He'll obviously say what players he wants to get rid of. He'll probably maybe ask for a director of football as well. You know, we shall see. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.